Alrighty, so we are back. I have the document ready. I know you don't know how long it took, but it took me just a second to get that ready. So what I have here is I have a claim. It is an active claim. It is a live claim. Um, Everything is active. It is live. It is real. All that good stuff. I have taken out, as you see, I've taken out the client's name and all their pertinent information. I have left the numbers and everything else so that we can see what's going on. Okay, this is a claim from one of the major insurance companies that definitely knows what they are doing. They've done this for many, many years. They protect us, uh, our homes, our cars. They protect many, many things. Um, but this is what the estimate looks like, and this is not a case that is isolated. This happens over and over and over. Um, it's just as constantly, this is what we see constantly. So I just want to show you guys what's going on. Um, Forgive me, it is 1:40 in the morning, so it is very late for me, but this is very important to me. I have clients that have questions. You know, they want to know why is my estimate the cash price is $7,000, and then the settled on price is $21,000. What gives? So I kind of want to show you guys what does give and what's going on with that. And let me just use this example here. Okay, so you see we have our traditional claim. If you're looking over here with me, we're going to go through here the paperwork. So I whited out a lot of it so you can't see the names and things like that, any pertinent information. If I do see it, I'll probably just stop it. This is our coverages. Just, you know, normal things that is in your paperwork when they send it to you from the insurance company. Okay, again, that's her coverages. This is what they've given her so far. All that good stuff. But we're going to get into the roof portion, like I was telling you just a minute ago. And the roof portion is very important. You'll see that they only gave her 3 line items, and you'll understand what that means here in just 1 second. Okay, but we'll get to that next part. Okay, let's see. This is just a letter. So look, we're halfway through. We're on page 7, and we're just now getting into actual damages. So there's 6 pages of disclaimer. That's a lot. Anyway, okay, so here's the first line item. So you see this says tarp, okay? And really that's not a roof line item. That's an emergency repair line item, so that really doesn't count as a line item for the roof. This is a line item for temporary repair. So you see then we go to the roof, right? And you will see that these are the measurements, right? Right here. This is the measurements. This is how that breaks down, okay? So we have our hip and our perimeter and our surface area. This is how we know what type of, all of these things tell us what material to order. So it's really more for the contractor. But now let's look into what's going on the roof. Okay, if you see here, she's got tear off the shingles, put the shingles back on with the felt, okay? And then they have drip edge. Okay? So now let me show you what that should actually look like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over here to the actual software that we use. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to redo hers just kind of blind just so that you guys can see what does that look like. So I'm pulling up the software. I'm going to log in. Alright. Again, this is all in real time, so forgive me if it's a little too slow. And this won't take us long. Hopefully, if I can figure it out, I'll edit out any of the slow parts. I doubt it, y'all. It's late right now. I want to get this video into your hands. I really don't want it to be cut up or edited in a lot of ways. I'm not a veteran video guy. I've tried it. I've done it a few times videos, but again, I don't like the camera. I don't like to be on it, but I do like to get the information to you if I have it. Okay. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to add a new project. It just means I'm starting brand new, okay? And I'm going to put in some, basically the information for where I'm living. So we'll just use that because it does. So this the Xactimate software, just to tell you a few things, it does pricing for your local area. So it takes all the components that go into almost anything on your household, and it gives the pricing for replacement cost, and it gives the price for what it's worth in its current condition. So it's important that I put all this information in correctly, including the zip code and all that, to get the correct pricing. But here, let me just go ahead and fill this out real quick. Let's see if I can do it like that. Yeah, I could do that. Yep, forgive me. Maybe I can fast forward through this. I don't know, or maybe I could even just pause. But I don't know how that works if I'm starting another video. But bear with me. All right, so I put in all the information there. This stuff, not so much, doesn't matter, but obviously I always will fill it out for my clients to make sure everything is complete. Of course, I'm the estimator. David the roofer is the reference. Okay, we're doing a hurricane claim. Okay, the deductible doesn't matter. The claim number is going to be, we'll just, anything works. Okay, so that's everything there. So now we're going to go, once we have that filled out, we're going to go to the estimate items. Okay, we can even do the sketch real fast. If it's a simple roof, let me just show you what that looks like. And of course, okay, so we're going to do the sketch really quickly. Zip code has been modified. Do I want to use the current price list? I do. So I'm going to click yes. Okay, so I am using the current price list for Panama City for this month in this year. Okay, at this time. So here's what we're going to do. So we're in the sketch function of Xactimate. And I'm going to just put together a roof real quick. Okay, and I'm not Mr. Sketch Guy, the expert of sketch, but we're just going to put together something very quickly. Okay, and then we're going to just add some stuff to it. I'm going to put this over here. How about not? Let's go for a different one. Make it easier on us. Nope. Delete that. There. So we're going to go, let's just do this. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to have to do this over for you guys. I'm getting a little glitchy here. Just be patient. All right. So let's add. I'll add these dormers. Yeah, I just played an hour, but I spent 8 hours to get to this club on 30 minutes. Okay. There's that. All right, but none of that really matters, right? So we've got our measurements. We know what the roof is. As you can see here, we're not going to have to put in measurements. hold on, let me show you what I mean. So if you see there, we got a 79-foot, 85-foot ridge, right? We have the other side over here, right there, right? It's at 29, 30 feet, okay? It's got all of our totals over here, right? Okay, everybody see that? Okay, so this is going to populate into our estimate, okay? So remember that she had 3 line items, or the person that did this estimate had 3 line items, right? So we're going to go main level. It's already put the roof in there, and we're only going to talk about roof tonight. I just want to go over this very quickly. So I want you to see, okay, if we look back over to the other side, right, you can see that her total estimate, which it does not only include roof, but so we'll do the math on this in just a second. But so they've tried to group it up together with the tarp, which that's okay in that area. But the fireplace and the chimney really should be under something else, even though it is posted on the roof, because this number is kind of misleading. If you see here, so really the only numbers that is roof are these 3 here. Okay, so the 6,300, the 500, and then the 232. That's all that State Farm has paid. Excuse me, that's all that they paid for on this roof. Now let me show you what that looks like in Xactimate. Okay, whenever you do it correctly. And remember, this is the software that contractors didn't come up with. The insurance companies were using this software first. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is the search bar, and what I normally do is I put in the components and then I go from there. Okay, so we know that they have the dispose or the tear off and the put back of the shingles with the felt. Remember? So they have tear off, they have put it back, and then they have the metal. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. So we're going to search comp, right? So that matches there. Comp shingle 3 tab. Okay, so 3 tab, 25 year, comp shingle. Okay, so I'm going to go without felt. You'll see it's very similar, but I like to make sure that each line item is in there correctly. So what we did is we clicked on that, and it gave us 2 line items. Okay, you see over here it's got this number here, the first one, is a remove price. Okay, and then this number below it is a replace price. Okay, so the remove and the replace. Okay, also notice that what happened here is Xactimate does not automatically add the waste for you. Okay, you need to add that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the actual square footage. So that's what the measurements come up to. So the 27.86, what they have here. So that means 2,786 square feet. And this roof that we're doing, it doesn't have any valleys. It has that little dormer. You remember that I showed you a second ago? It has that dormer, but it doesn't really have any valleys. It's just up and over. So I'm just going to use 10% waste. Okay, so I'm going to multiply times 1.1 in that little box. It's going to bring, excuse me, 27 there. We'll just do it over here. Same thing, 2786.86. And then we go times 1.1 equals. So it gave us 3865. So that was 27.86, right? Now it's 3065. Let's do it again. So again, do the 27.86 times 1.1 for 10% equals, okay, 30.67 square. Okay, so you see that that 2,700 square foot roof, after waste, after you cut shingles for the ridges or you cut them for the edges or things like that, you need waste. So you have 30.67 square here. Okay, so what that's done, so we have 2 line items, right? We have the tear off and the put back. There is something I want to show you that is very significant that the insurance companies want us to forget, but it is not. This is what is owed. Okay, so let me show you what's going on in here. So if you see, I clicked on the unit price and it told me what it is. It's a remove price, right? And it's $53.89. But it says over here where it says DMO, what that's saying is that's for a demolition crew to tear it off. Okay? We don't have demolition crews. We have skilled roofers, right? So if you look, the difference, so this is the replace, right? The same shingles. They're paying to replace them right? Skilled labor, and that's RFG, which stands for roofing. Okay, so they're paying roofers to put on the roof, but they're only paying demolition guys to tear it off, and it's the same guys, right? So the same guys should be getting the same pay, right? If they're on the same job. So let me show you what we changed. And this, I tell you, it puts a lot of things in an uproar, but this is what's owed according to the software. Okay, so we take that DMO, so we take it from a demolition guys, and we turn it to roofing. Okay, so watch what happens. This 53.89 unit price is about to change significantly because you're now going to pay not just for unskilled labor, but you're going to pay skilled labor to do that job. Okay, because that's the guys that are there. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to pick RFG. So RFG is for roofing. So now watch it. So you see the 53 and you see the RFG. Wow. That's what it takes for a skilled person to do the same job. Okay? So just imagine if they came to your job and they said, you know, I love the way that you've been managing the place. You've done a great job. Perfect, perfect, perfect. But for today, I wanted you to go to the lowest pay rate and I want you to sweep floors all day at the lowest pay rate. You wouldn't take that. Now, you would do it at your pay rate, but you wouldn't take a lower pay rate. There's no reason that we should ask these guys to do that either. Okay, I hope that you agree with me on that, but that is one of the significant differences between the estimate that your insurance gave you and what you're owed. Okay, so let me just go back and show you one more time. I'm going to take that RFG back to DMO. Okay, and you watch the total at 10,000. You see this total over here at 10,000. Okay, and 79. So watch it when I take it to DMO. You see that huge difference. That's a $4,000 or $3,000 difference, $3,500 difference. Okay, that's huge. So there's a big difference of why your estimate and the insurance company's estimate, or the estimate that I send to the insurance company, is so much different than the estimate that the insurance company provides, because they're not doing things according to their own rules correctly. Okay, so let me put that back at RFG, and then we'll just we'll show you the rest of the things that we add in. And then you can make your own judgment call. You tell me if it's right or if it's wrong. You tell me if you understand or if you don't. You tell me if you want me to even put up another video or not. I hope that this is helpful, and I hope it gives all the information about the difference in the estimates to the people. You know, I'm just as clear as I could be. Okay? Okay, so now let's go back, and they've already paid us for the drip edge, right? You remember that? We had that over here. The third line item was the drip edge. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that over here. I type in drip, it comes up drip edge. Okay, it's got already my number of feet in there. Now it does not include the waste, so I normally will add waste to that. For these purposes here, there's really no need for me to go into all that detail. But again, I'm going to click on the unit price. So you see one more time, they paid the roofers, right, to replace it, but they want these demolition guys to come in for 32 cents a unit and tear it off. We don't have demolition guys. We only have skilled labor in our roofers. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. I'm going to change it again. So if you look here, right, we're going to be at 32 cents, okay, per unit, and I'm going to change it to roofer, who is going to be the one doing the work. Okay, and it takes it to 92 cents per unit. Okay, that's significant. It's almost 3 times as much to pay the guy that's there, that is doing the job, that has been doing the job, to pay him correctly. Okay, again, if we went to your job and you're the doctor, we would not ask you to go clean out bedpans for $8 an hour rather than $300,000 a year. And I don't think if we did that you would be happy doing it if that's what the insurance company said that you had to do. They're not the boss. The facts are that the homeowner gets to choose whoever they want as their contractor, and the insurance company has to work with that contractor as long as they are reasonable and ethical. Okay, and of course, everything that I do is going to be up on the up and up. I hope that you at least feel my tone. I hope you understand that I'm trying to be as clear and as transparent as possible. I'm sure that there's possibility for me to make mistakes, and maybe if there's haters that who knows. But I want everybody to understand that we are not out to get the insurance company. We're not out to take advantage of the insurance company. We are, though, on the side of you, the homeowner, or the property owner, or the property manager. If you can't wrap it around that we're on your side because maybe we just met, think about it like this: we are at least on the side of the roof, and the insurance companies will not pay anything that they don't feel like they owe. Okay, and you'll see. I don't know if I'll get to it tonight, but you'll see there is appears to be a tactic that is consistent that follows delay, deny, and underpay. With these tactics, I believe that they are creating a profit center in the claims department, and claims were never meant to be a profit center. Okay, I don't know if you follow that, but rewind it, play it again, look it up on Google. We are fighting on the front lines, and a lot of times we are villainized because I just think there's more money on the other side that is trying to tell you their agenda rather than what the rules are. The rules say that the homeowner needs to be indemnified for any covered peril. Okay, a covered peril would be like a hurricane. Okay, so that's what's going on here. Oftentimes you get these type of adjusters that give you these 3 line items, right? So you get this total on the roof, and even at this total, I'm already $2,000, $2,500 ahead. No, $2,000 ahead of these guys, and we haven't even gone past their line items. Okay, so when I talk about other line items, there are things that matter whenever you're doing roofs in the Florida area, especially anything coastal. Let me just go ahead and show you what those are. So we're going to put in here re-nail. Okay, so what this is, I'm sure you've heard of this when it's re-nail the decking, re-nail the roof sheathing. Okay, most homes require that here if they aren't current. So if you haven't had your roof replaced in about a year, you do need to have, more than likely you are going to need to have the deck re-nailed. Okay, insurance companies are paying for this as long as you have the ordinance and law coverage in your policy, and most homeowners do. Okay, ordinance and law, code upgrades, whatever you want to call it, that is the law that goes behind it that says, hey, look, it has to be done. Okay, if you're going to tell us, or if as an insurance company you want us to replace a roof, whether we be the homeowner or the contractor, but the county wants that roof to be up to code and it's not currently up to code, then we must bring it up to code in order to meet what you're asking and in order to meet the guidelines set by the county. So I'm going to click on this, right? It's going to bring it down here. It's already populated. Bam. Okay, so then we're going to add another code upgrade. This one's a little different. They don't have it all the way in Xactimate that I found. And anybody that watches this now or in the future, maybe you're watching on the replay, maybe you're watching live, leave me a comment or just tell me, if you will, that you know a better way to do this one. But the code says this. The code says that we must put 4 inches of mastic and or black tar all the way around the perimeter of every house and around all the openings, so around the pipes and things like that on every house. Okay, that adds wind resistance at the point of impact, which are the edges. Okay, so what I do here, they have something in here for that. So I just type in mastic because it's a bowl of putty and mastic. Okay, and they have it right here for the vent pipes. You see, so I'm going to click that, and they're not quite sure what I'm doing. So I'm going to have to change a few things here, okay, just to make it work. So I take it, it says vent pipes, and then I add to it and the entire perimeter as per Florida building code, right? Okay, and then we change it to each. It's not each. And we get as close as we can on this price. We may be shorting ourselves just a little bit, but we try to get close. You can imagine how hard it is to estimate exactly what that costs. So we go back down to the unit price. Obviously, it's not $26 a foot. We use $6.79, which is fair. Okay, and that is at the RFG. Okay, and that's all I do on that one. So you see there, now we go and we look at the drip edge, and we just add, depending on how many pipes it is, 9 square feet per pipe. In this case, we're looking at 36, so we're going to do 258.4, 258.4 times, or excuse me, 258.4, yeah, plus 4 times 9 equals, okay, it gave us 294, okay, square feet. That looks about right. Okay, so you see a lot of the math gets done right here in the software, okay? There's no funny business going on outside the software or any of that, okay? But you see we're already at that many line items. Here's just 2 quick ones that are no-brainers. You know that you need it on every job. You know that it's part of the cost. There's really not a lot of explanation, but you need a permit, right? Permits and taxes, right? It's a bid item. Because you use labor to go wait in line, you use labor to get the paperwork ready, there's foot traffic, all that. Anyway, so it's not just the cost of the permit, it is the cost determined by the contractor according to their needs. And for us, it is $420. And then you're also going to need somewhere to throw all that stuff away, right? Okay, so we get a small dumpster for this one. And look, folks, already we're at 8 line items. And those are basic stuff. Those are basic items, right? Do you believe really that State Farm just forgot? I don't believe that they forgot. And if they did, you know, that's one of the reasons that we're here. We do go to back them up and make sure that everything is done correctly. But my thoughts are that you can't give somebody 3 line items, right? And know that they're going to need 16 or more in the normal roof estimate, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's add some more things that are normal, that are needed in the roof construction, okay? So manufacturers state that we must use a starter strip, okay? The starter strip goes around the perimeter also. State Farm and some of them say that it's included in the waste, and it is not included in the waste, and all the manufacturers have this written out. You can Google it. It's written at the bottom of every EagleView. Starter and ridge cap, that is not included in waste factor. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a universal starter course. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, so we had, yeah, we know we need that. So we got, if we go back to our sketch, right, we'll just take a look real quick. Okay, we've got 86. So starter, it goes all the way around the edge, right? Right. So the perimeter is, so let's just do 85 and 85, right? So you got this side and that side, 85 and 85, right? So 170. And let's just make it easy on ourselves. So we're going to do 30 and 30. So 60, so we'll just do 230 is going to be your starter, okay? So now we're going to go back to the estimate, and we're going to put in the 230 for the starter. You see? And according to the insurance company, you can ask almost every one of them. It's included. According to all the manufacturers, it's not, okay? And the insurance company, their rule says that they will go by building codes or manufacturer codes. Okay, so their rules say that we are supposed to put it, but then they tell us, even though their rules say to put it, then they won't give it to you. Okay, but let's just put it there. It is what it is. 230, 230, 230. All right, that's that. There's also another code that says that we must tape and float the decking at all the seals and the joints, or ice and water the entire roof. Okay, so we've been doing the ice and water over the entire roof. And ice and water, what this is a water, it's a leak barrier basically. It's a very thick material, almost like a rubber that peels and sticks to the roof, and you can drive a nail through it and it'll seal around that nail. So it's a really, really, really good piece of defense, tool for defense, however you want to look at that, for protection against water entering the home. Okay, so let me just put that in here. So I put ice and water. You see it comes up, ice and water barrier, right? See that? So I'm going to click it. And the square feet is going to be the same as what we did for the felt. And I haven't added that yet, but it's going to be the same as what we tore off. So this says square, which means basically a per 100 square feet is a square. So we're going to take this 2780.86 square and turn it into 2786 square feet. Make sense? So 2786 square feet is 27.86 square. So you just divide square feet by 100 and that gives you squares. Okay? And of course you can't do that from the ground. You need pitch and all that other stuff. And I'll be happy to make a video on how to get measurements because it's really simple and you can do it from your living room and you don't have to get on the roof in most cases. And it's free. Just resources that you already use. Okay, so let me put the 2786 for that. Okay, it's significant to put that all over the roof, but it's code. You know, it's you have to, and then they want to fight. So either way, if we take the joints on the decking, so everywhere that has a joint, you have to tape it, or if you ice and water the whole thing, it's a very similar cost. Okay. So what we're gonna do? So that's the ice and water. Okay. We haven't even talked about their pipes. So they have pipe boots. I'll show you what that looks like. And almost every roof has them. So they have two different types, and I'll show you both. And then I'll remove one of them. That way the numbers don't get off. Okay. So if you look here, I'm going to click on it. So this is, you see in this picture here, you see how that has the plastic at the bottom? Okay, that's how most of them are. But they also have a variation where the lead comes up over the top. Okay. What we're going to use here is the plastic on the bottoms. They're called 3-in-1s. Okay, we said earlier that we had 4 of those. So we're putting in 4. Bam. Okay, there's that. So we're going to also delete that one like I said we would. And so when we put that pipe jack, we also want to paint it. You know, it's normal to paint it. So we do a paint pipe jacks, right? Prime and paint. That's the wrong one. So I did 4 to 6 inch diameter, and I should have done, I think up to 3. Let's just take a look. And I hope that I'm not boring you guys. I hope that I'm being as clear as possible. I hope that this is good information. I do want you to see the finished product here. We are getting there quickly. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, I'm David the Roofer on Facebook, so please do. That way you can catch these videos whenever I bring them back out, or whenever somebody asks, or whenever it gets like this has happened. That I've had a lot of clients that are just concerned, and no matter how much they trust me, something inside them says that something feels off, and what that is inside them is a constant message from the opposition with the funding, in the media and all this other stuff. And it's a profit. It's all a game for profit. Just plain and simple. That's what it looks like to me, regardless if it is or not. Nobody will ever know, right? But it is very apparent that there are denies, delays, and underpays that are constant, that are habitual, that have been going on for 5+ years. And it's just getting absolutely ridiculous whenever they give a homeowner 3 line items for their roof, right? Just absolutely ridiculous. Okay, normally also what a house will have is the ridge vent. Most of you have it. If you're not familiar with what that is, let me show you. So we've got, so we've got continuous ridge vent, shingle over style, right? So we got, let me show you. You see how that is your ridge vent? So that's your ridge going this way, and that's where it breathes. So that's ridge vent. Most of you have it. You see here it has the linear foot. It does not have way, so normally you would add waste, or you would back it up to where it's divisible by 4, however. Okay, so that's the ridge vent. And let me show you also, because we didn't do it, so let's look at the starter. Remember what I was showing you on the DMO earlier? So that one's RFG, so we're good on the starter. There's no remove, so that one's good. All right, you see, okay, now you see here on the pipe jacks, they want us to bring that demolition crew in to tear them off. We don't have one. Or they're assuming that they can cut the pay of our guys, and you can't. Those are roofers, they're skilled. They need to be paid as such. You can't just take advantage of them by paying less whenever you know that it's unreasonable for them to have demolition guys for that. Again here, okay, the painter's paid to paint it. Okay, and you've got your ridge vent. Let's just double check, make sure everything's on the up and up. Okay, so you see again here, they've got the DMO in there, so we're going to change it again to RFG. And of course, you can pause and replay, and you can go back and see how much it changes it, in case you weren't watching. But it is significant, y'all. But it's what you're owed. And when you do all of these things correctly, it's what we're owed for the roof. I mean, it's just reasonable that if they would pay it, that we deserve it. And trust me, whenever we go back to them, I promise there is probably 12 hours minimum of skilled negotiations, maybe negotiations isn't it, but skilled data entry, skilled rectification, skilled stand your ground, because you know it's code and you know they owe for it. And so you just go back and forth as friendly as you can until you get the result that you know that you're owed. But they continue to delay you, continue to put you on hold, continue to do these type of tactics, hoping that you'll give up. And most people do. Think about this situation. If you need money and somebody said, here, look, I'll give you $4,000 today or $6,000 in 20 days. You're going to take the 4. This is the same tactic that they use over and over and over again. So you will see, I'm going to show you how they offered this lady just under $8,000 for her roof, and that wasn't even close to what she was owed. And it's not that I'm the bad guy asking for what she's not owed. You can see that all of these items are reasonable. All of them. That reminds me, I have not put the felt back in, so I'm going to put in felt. And even though they just pay us for a 15 or 30 pound felt, we put synthetic felt whenever we go back. So, I mean, there are costs that we absorb too, because it has to be done right. But if you look here, that's the felt. Okay, that's just normal stuff that should be paid. And let's look at that. So it's $27.86. Oh no, that's the square foot, or that's the number of squares, right? But it's $32.08 is how much the felt is here. So that $32.08 plus that $202, right? Let's see what they've got over here. So they've got $150 including the felt. Or they got $207 including the felt. So I was at $202. So you see, even the way I do it may even be a little bit lower at that level. But I always do it the same way. I'm very consistent. You know, I want to see the line item on there. I want to make sure that it's covered. I want the homeowner to see it. I want everybody to know that all the components that are supposed to be paid for are paid for. Okay? So we did that. We were doing the felt. Let me see here. So we have a few more items. So you have the ridge vent. We haven't done the ridge cap shingles. So on the very tip of the ridge, you use ridge cap shingles, and I'll show you what those look like here in a second, because everything has a picture here in Xactimate, and it tells you in such detail what is needed. Okay, so ridge cap composition shingles. Okay, I added those in here. It automatically did my linear feet, so it figured out what my ridge was. Let's check and see what the unit price is. Okay, RFG and RFG. Okay, they remove and replace at the same level. How it's supposed to be done. Okay, so we have those ridge shingles, and now let me show you here. Let me see. So if you see there, and I know it's very difficult to see, but it says it includes the shingles, the nails, installation, and labor. Labor to remove, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Look, use of this item should be limited to situations where ridge cap is not already accounted for within the waste factor relative to the filled shingles. Ultimately, how this is estimated is up to the parties involved. Roofers will generally include the removal of the ridge cap in the per square removal price of the shingles. This removal activity is intended to be used when the ridge cap is being removed and the adjacent field shingles are not being removed. Okay? So it tells you in detail on every little thing. It talks about depreciation. It talks about all the good stuff. And it does that on everything. So if I go back in here to the shingles, right, and I look for the detail, it says it includes hauling off, composition shingles and felt. Additional layers are not included. Okay. Removal cost is based on hauling done with contractor's own equipment. If hauling is used with a dumpster, then it needs to have an extra one. It needs to have the dump. So that's why we saw us put the dump in there earlier. But you see, this line item does not include the felt. It does not include the starter. It does not include drip edge. It does not include any of that. It says exactly what it does include. So we know exactly what we can go back and ask for that's owed. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope this is making so much sense. I'm not going to take up a whole lot more time, but I want you to see here, just as we get through, let me add this chimney in. Let me add what she has over here. So she's got the that tarp, remember? No, the tarp is not on that section. So we've got the chimney repair, okay, which I imagine this chimney repair is a lot more than a basic chimney repair, but I'm not a chimney guy, okay, so I can't go into as much detail on that one as I can about the roofing. The roof is plain and simple. It's black and white. It is or it isn't, and in this case it is. I hope that you understand where we were changing from the demolition to the RFG. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope it makes sense to you that all of these items are needed in a traditional roof. There's nothing on here that's abnormal. There's nothing on here that shouldn't be on here. But we always are forced to reduce our numbers here just so that we can be amicable. That, you know, and we can get you taken care of in a timely manner. Otherwise, they would drag us on forever. But you see here, so we've got, let's add the chimney repair. And it says R&R the fireplace thing. Let me see here. Fireplace chimney cap concrete. Okay. Fireplace chimney cap concrete. Wrong one. Okay, so when you make a mistake, you got to take it back out. Okay, let's see. Fireplace chimney cap. Okay, here it is, right? It's the closest one. It's the exact same codes. So you see that if we look at the unit price, you see they're paying, it's normally one guy, right? They're going to pay him the mason DMO levels, right? How are you going to give him this price, $37, when he's a $177 guy, right? It's not fair to him. And it's, anyway, so you see, that way, I don't even know if that went up. Did you just see that? It might not even went up. So that's okay with me either way, if it goes down or if it goes up. I just want who is owed to be paid correctly and to be tagged right. So let's see. From $37.50, $37.51. So it is more expensive for the labor guy than it is for the mason guy. But either way, so we do it consistent all the time, okay? That's funny. I really didn't even know that for sure. But that's good. So, and then we're going to put a chimney flute, right? Or flute. Chimney and flute. Alright. Oh, I didn't put this one. There we go. Chimney and flute. That's the one. Nope. Okay, so they've got it at $319. Okay, so that is the one. Okay, so the chimney and flue. Again, we're going to do the same thing with the unit price. DMO to it's a mason because that's who's doing it. Okay, did that change it? Let me look again. So let's look and see if that. So we're at 6661. it's equal on that one. So it doesn't always change it so significantly, but I do change it every time. Okay, I think that that's fair, and I think we should be consistent in everything that we do. Okay, since we made this roof up basically over here, we don't know what the DMO is, or what, or excuse me, not that. We don't know um, if it did have a satellite, you know, because that's another charge. We don't know if there's bad decking, that would be another charge. We don't know if there is no access, or if it's 2-story, or if it's steep, or if it's any of that. But let me just show you guys, you know, whenever you have a satellite dish up there, they have prices to remove it, to detach and reset it, right? And then they have to where you align it and calibrate it. You see here, so it's $100 or more, right? We didn't look at your AC to see if it needed to be combed, right? Because AC, they get bent up. But if you look here, the comb, and let me do that again, right? If you look here, right there, these first two. So that's in case debris hit the air condition, right? And it bent those fins, and they need to be straightened back out. But that's significant, and they left it out on most of your claims. And it's there. I promise you, flying debris hit your air conditioner unless it's, you know, one of those trains and nothing stops the train. But wow, look at that. I mean, even those little things, it's just nickel and dime the homeowner all the time, and it's just not fair. I think that you're going to agree with me once you get to the end of this video. And if there is that significant of a difference, right, on this part, just imagine how significant of a difference it would be for everybody else. So if it's just on the roof, right, just what I know, right, what about all this other stuff, right? What about her kitchen, right? Because, again, she's got 3 line items, right? Look, what about all that, right? Is she short there too? You know, I wouldn't know without an inspection to actually looking inside and making sure for them. But I wanted to see this, and I told somebody that I was going to do their exact estimate, and I haven't got to it. But if you would like for me to, I can do another video with yours. But I think this is kind of explaining to you. Let me pull that up real quick, okay? So bear with me. So I want you to see these 3 line items is a significant difference, right? Because they gave her, excuse me, it's up here, but they gave her, let's just do that math. I think it was $8 grand, something like that. So we've got, okay, tear off, put back, and the drip. Okay, so we've got 520. Let's just do it right here. Let's get the math. Well, maybe not. So we'll just do it on there. 520 plus 6330. So that's 6850. So 6850, so that'd be 7888. 8888. So it's just 890. 8890, let's call it. Okay, so 8890 for that roof. And what I have this roof at, I'll show you the exact one. Okay. Yeah. No, this is the other one. Then I'll show you just 1 second. Okay. But let's look. This says 2A. This should be exactly what we're looking for. Is that the same? It's so hard to tell. Just a second, bear with me. Again, I'm not a professional video guy, but I'm just doing it to try to be helpful so that everybody understands, everybody's on the same page. Okay, this is it. Okay, that's her original. Okay, so now that's fine. that's not it. That's the next one. That is the one. Let's see if I can find it another way. There. Okay, so this is from us. Okay. Let's see if this is the right one. Let's see what I came up with. Okay, just bear with me again. I just need to find it real fast, but it's pretty significant, you guys. Okay. Okay, this may be it. Let's look. Which one is it? Okay, of course that's all mine. I'm not sure if that is it. This is her original. Okay. I think that's not it. Should be the last part. Well, anyway, so I'm not seeing where I put mine. I can't open a live one because of the privacy issues. I don't know how to hide that from you guys. Let me see. Oh, there's another one. It must be this one. Okay, you see it over here? No, that's not it. Okay, well, anyway, what I do have is on the one that I did, it was significantly higher. I think it was probably $20,000 was the roof after I did the estimate on it, which is significant. As a matter of fact, let me just at least look, because I can look at it and tell you guys for sure. And I don't know why I don't have it, but forgive me on this video, but I think everything is blatantly clear. I did want to show you guys what I ended up, where my price is. But just give me 1 second here. Let me try to pull that up to where I can look at it very quickly. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, if you want to know more, tell me. Put it in the comments. Push the like button. Subscribe. Like us on Facebook. Look for us on YouTube. I'm David the Roofer. I try to be as upfront and as forward as I can with everybody. I try to be very clear. I try to do things consistently with integrity and honesty. Even if it means staying up till 2:40 in the morning talking about supplements and roofing. But it's important, guys. I've heard the question so many times, so I wanted to get an answer out there so that more of you can understand. Please share the video. If you know somebody in this situation, if somebody has more questions, I mean, if you want to talk about it some more, again, David the Roofer, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I don't check the Instagram and all that very often. I can't get to Facebook a whole lot, but I try. My number, don't call, but you can text. If you call, I probably won't get to you today or most days between the hours that I'm in the car driving to a client's place, or I'm at the client's place, or I'm on a roof, or that I finally get back to do some paperwork, because you can see this paperwork is extensive. So I get back to do paperwork. That's something that you don't let the phone interrupt you for. Okay? But anyway, let me see what I have for her, just to tell you what my estimate came up to on her. Okay, so for the roof portion, yeah, her total claim, I guess I can tell you guys that. Yeah, so her roof, after I am done with it, looks like it's at 17,768. Okay, so that's where her roof ended up. 1768 looks like. It may even be more than that, actually. It may be 31. Anyway, so there's a significant difference between what they have and what I have. What I have, I believe, is correct. I believe that it is the right way to do it. And if you look here, okay, I think it's this one, right? Remember? Laminated, comp, roofing, chimney. This might not. Yeah, chimney. Is that the same? Yeah, because you see they took out what she had originally put. No, this is on a different one. But you see they did take out what they put and added what I put, which is fine. I prefer it that way, but you know. Let me see if I can show you guys. This is that one. I think this is it. This is it. Okay, so this is her estimate where I'm at. Okay, so we have her shed up there. We have the roofing, right, including all the code upgrades, right? You see, that's the first section of roof. Then we have another section of the roof, right? Gutter apron, mastic, all the stuff that we talked about, right? Okay, and then this gets into the kitchen, right? But if we stay up with the roof, I think we've got an 1800 there and a 1400 or 14,000 here. So we're somewhere around 17-ish, 16, 17-ish. Okay, and I think there's more sections. Yeah, so we took her claim all the way for her. And everything that we noticed, we put back in. And there's a double roof on a gazebo, more debris removal. Okay, so her original claim, I think, was at 25 or 35, and what she's owed is well above 50. But that's normal. Normally, it's a lot higher than that. You know, I don't think I've had a chance to fully inspect the inside, so I'm just going off the basics. You know, what's obvious. You know, we obviously need to put we obviously need to put starter. We obviously need to put ridge. We obviously need to re-nail the deck. We have to meet the code upgrades. You know what I'm saying? These are things that we don't make the rules. They make them. We just try to follow them and hold them accountable. Okay? And just really quickly, there is obviously they revised. I think, though, that's this one. Let me see if I can find it. Right. Let me see here. Okay, 1029. So this is an original estimate. Okay. Right. So on 1029, this was the original estimate. Right. I think that's this one over here. Is it? Yes. Okay. So you see, this one is from the 29th. Okay. And then this one, the one I was showing you, is from the 17th of December. Okay. But if you see what's happened here, so what happened was I supplemented them, okay? So I sent in our supplement, a request with my numbers, with my pictures, and all that good stuff. And I said, hey, look, I think our numbers are different. Can you fix it? And so what they did was they took their original estimate, as you see over here on my left, right? They took their original estimate and backed it out because it's wrong. Why else would you take it out? Okay? And then they added my estimate in. Now they manipulated the pricing. They didn't give us the RFG DMO differences. And then they tell the homeowner that that's the right thing to do. And they know that it's not the right thing to do. Okay? It's plain and simple not the right thing to do, and you heard the explanation earlier. Feel free to dig deep. Talk to a lawyer. Do some research on Google. But it's fair to pay a skilled labor guy a skilled labor wage. It's always fair to pay the same person the same wage as you paid them the last time, and then you paid them the hour before, right? Especially if they're going to do a more physically difficult job, like tear off a roof. You understand what I'm saying? These are not unreasonable requests. These are the way things should be, and it takes a lot to get them that way. This has been a battle for many years, since probably the Charlie era, Charlie and Wilma and all that time, okay? So if you see this claim, I think we're just doing roof on this one. I'm going to show you. I did not change the rest of her claim for her. So we're looking at $9,700 for the roof, right? And let's see, after all is said and done, after going back and forth with negotiations, I'm glad you guys just didn't see me pick my nose, because I was all the way in it. Ha! Sorry. I just noticing. Let's look. This might be it. Yes. Okay, so this one is just the roof, right? For that job that I just showed you. For their roof only, where they should be at. Okay? So there's things that go in here like overhead and profit, and let's get into that in another video. If you guys want to know how do you get this overhead and profit, I'll tell you. I mean, it's written in one of these papers what their rules are, and I'll show you how they gave it, and we'll see if they stick to that. But anyway, remember this. I'm David the Roofer. I'm on you guys' side. I know there's a lot of behind the scenes, and you feel like maybe you're not in the loop. Trust me, we're working for you, and it's sometimes better for us not to necessarily communicate it verbally, what's going on, because that allows more time, especially in this situation, to get to more people and to help more people. The opposition has not made this easy. They've made it very difficult, even with the swaying of public opinion. And obviously it's been going on for a long time. How else could you think that the person who is against you is your friend and is the one that you should back up, and that the contractor is all of a sudden the enemy, and they're actually doing the work that's going to keep you safe? They're the ones going to keep you dry because they put the roof on, or they're the ones that keeping the critters out because they put the walls up. They did the physical work. You went through the trauma. Trust me, that is not lost on me. I know how traumatic this event has been for everybody. But please understand, I hope this video helps. I hope you understand a little bit more. If you want to know some more than this, I've been doing this since Hurricane Wilma. And forgive me, it's late, so I know that things don't sound correct. But since Hurricane Wilma, I've been working insurance claims, re-roofing them. Okay, so I've got a lot of experience. My girl, she's an adjuster. Her little brother's an adjuster. My best bud's an adjuster. We're running that circle. Storm restoration is not a huge industry. Even though it's a huge industry, it's still small. It's still very small. You know all the players. You know everybody that's in it. If there's somebody out there that still needs a roof, whether it be a small one or a large one, again, I know all the players. And I work with a local company, H.E. Roberts Roofing. DJ is the owner. He goes by DJ Hunter Roberts, but he's a younger guy, 35, but he's out of Milton. He's been there for a couple years, but really, really good guy, honest guy, hardworking guy. His dad's a pastor at the local church down there in Milton. Really a perfect fit. But I can help you get any of these jobs done, but you have to be patient with me. At the most, or in a normal situation, if I really hit on all cylinders, I can see 100 of you, or I can complete 100 claims. Normally, that's $1 million in roof sales. Plus, normally it's closer to $1.5 million, and that's normally hitting on all cylinders. In this event, I probably will go above the 200 mark, but it's not going to be easy, folks. I will hire help, as I'm just now going to get somebody to answer the phones. For me as a salesman, because my phone does need more attention than what it's getting. But I have to prioritize. You know, we have to get the legwork done. Um, Facebook is good, guys. If you want to reach out to me on Facebook, I do get back to you because I can do that at any time. I don't have to call. It doesn't have to be in a business hour. The same way with texting, the same way with email. I appreciate those things. If you want to get a hold of me that way, please do. Um, any of you that want me to go see your mom or your dad or a loved one that you feel like you've been waiting so that they don't get taken advantage of, I would love to be the guy that helps. Be patient with me. You know, we'll get you set up. I will make it for my appointments. I don't no show you. I've missed a couple, but then I went back. There may even be a couple that I've totally missed. And if you are out there and I don't remember, or if I haven't got to that note yet, and you remember that you had an appointment with David the Roofer, please contact me on Facebook. I think that's the most solid platform. And just remind me, hey, you forgot, and I will get to you, I promise. Me forgetting was not done to you on purpose. The same way, if you, most of you, I think I've gotten out all the estimates. But if there's somebody that slipped through the crack, please reach out to me because I didn't mean for you to slip through the crack. I'm not mad at you. If I came by and I said I would do it, I meant to do it. I think I've done them. But if there's some of you that have slipped through the crack, reach out to me and I'll get it taken care of. Another thing, if some of you are just looking for an estimate, you just need the number, right? You just need to know what is my number and you just can't get your hands on it. What I can do for you, I can even make a video about it, but what I can do, if you'll hit me up on Facebook, just let me know that you need an estimate only. What I'll do is I will pull up the satellite. It won't be an Eagle View because I'm not going to pay for it, but I'll do something very similar to the Eagle View with one-click estimate, so that lets me measure. So, and then I'll pull it up. You'll see a satellite image like this. It will give me the measurements, or the very close measurements, and then I will put the current numbers to it and send it over as a cash bid. Remember, cash bids are significantly lower than the insurance bid. Insurance bids initially do have the code upgrades in them. When cash bids, we will wait until we make sure when we tear off that roof that the decking needs to be renailed, or any of the code upgrades aren't currently existing, right? So that we know exactly how to charge you. But the initial number, let's say you get a $350 number per square, that does not include any of the code upgrades. Okay, so that number can jump significantly if that roof is 20 years old, okay, and you haven't had any of the code upgrades that are required. Okay, when the insurance is taking care of it, we don't have to explain that as in detail, right? Because it doesn't come out of your pocket. You're not really worried about it. But when it is a cash deal, we try to give you the lowest price, at least at H.E. Roberts. We give you the lowest price that we can offer. And I'm very clear about explaining what can you expect if it's not up to code. Okay. And with an insurance job, it is a totally different ballgame. We all automatically put the code upgrades in there. And of course, if there's something that's not there, then we won't bill for it. Okay. One other thing to remember is the depreciation. So when you have depreciation, that's the money that they've held back, right? They sent you your initial check, they took your deductible out, and then what is left, you get that back after the work is done. Okay. So what we will do is we will invoice the insurance for exactly what work we did. Okay. Nothing more, nothing less. If there's additional that is needed, we will invoice it at that time. But remember, we cannot invoice for less or more than what we did. Okay? They will take the money back from you if you invoice for less, right? And obviously, if you invoice for more, we will get that taken care of. They owe for it if they said to replace the roof. Okay? It's what their agreement is. You are their client. And it doesn't always feel that way, okay? I don't know if you feel like you're in good hands. I don't know if you feel like they're a good neighbor. But I tell you what, we are here to help. At least most contractors that I know, we're here to help. We're on your side. We've been fighting this battle for 12 years, 13 years, trying to get change to happen. And it is happening, but they're making a lot of noise about it on the other end. This isn't change that we want to implement, but they write the rules one way to cover their legal course, or their legal, this is just an opinion again, to cover legal, they write the rules one way to cover that, right? But then they do the exact opposite. It's just not right. Many victims go unnoticed. Many people have no clue. Some are elderly, some are disabled, some aren't as cognitive. So those folks truly get taken advantage of. And they think that said company is on their side, and they're not. Okay? It's not even, anyway, it's not even that you guys are playing the same game. It's a whole different game for them. You just want to be whole like you were before whatever happened, the covered peril, and they are simply looking to make the money, okay, and stop fraud. So I hope this was helpful. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel. If you want to hear something else, you want to know about overhead and profit, or if you want to know about what happens up on a roof, what am I looking for, what does damage look like, if you want to know about depreciation, if you want to know about code upgrades, anything that you want to know about, if you want to talk about anything, you can go to my page, you can leave it there. There's a group that's connected to my page. You should be able to find it if you're on the page. Tell a friend at David the Roofer. So it's easy to tag me on Facebook at David the Roofer. And then if you're on Instagram or Twitter, it's going to have a underscore between David and the Roofer. So it's David _ the Roofer on Twitter and Instagram. And everything else is going to be David the Roofer with no space, no underscore, no any of that. Except the email, and my email is going to be GoDaddyDave, DAV, so GODA, no, excuse me, it's David the Roofer. DAVID, my roofer is my Gmail. Excuse me, it's late. DAVIDMY ROOFER. So davidmyroofer@gmail.com. Thanks for putting up with me. I hope that it worked for you guys. Again, like the post if it was informative. Please share it to somebody that you have talked to about. Let everybody get on the same page. Ask questions. And what I'll do is, if we get, if it's obvious that people need this information and you're consuming it, I will put it back out numerous ways. We'll do watch parties and all kind of stuff. I'll do question and answers. I'll do live events. Whatever you guys need, I'm happy to do it. I'm even available to come to your house and do a one-on-one. I'm happy to do it. It's what I do. Now, my schedule is tight, so work with me, okay? Please work with me. Let's get you dried in, and let's go from there, right? Anyway, David the Roofer, like my page, recommend me please on Facebook. Even if you just like this, give me a recommendation. It helps my rankings. Everything is organic. I don't buy likes or any of that stuff. You have to like me for me to get the like, okay? So please, like me, love me, share me, tell somebody about me. If you have any big deals out there, I pay up to 3.5% of the total deal just for the lead. Okay, so I share my commission with anybody that brings me the lead. I pay for that lead basically as long as the deal closes. And let's just put that on $1 million project, and there are numerous $1 million projects here. It's $35,000 in your pocket just for the introduction. Anyway, David the Roofer, find me on Facebook, look at me on social media, say something to me, mention me. I appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. I hope the video worked. Good night.